Hey guys, what's up? So I've been compiling the data of the Japanese BT12 EX4 format. Unfortunately, this site doesn't have like a great way to see top 16, so I'm kind of just relegated to looking at first places. But I think that we can still extrapolate a good amount of data using just that. So as you can see here, there are 234 total first place listings that were given to me from the site. Of those, Black War Greymon and War Greymon took 51 spots, which is huge. And if we also include the Gaiomon centered builds, they took a total of 57 spots, which is almost exactly 25% of all BT12 EX4 tournaments being taken by this version of the deck, or some variant of it at least. What that tells us is, I think, obviously Black War / War Gray are the obvious winners of BT12 / EX4. I think being able to go into their ultimates for like one memory, getting so much value, having so many blockers, being able to remove things, using the raid mechanic, the deletion mechanic, trashing security, ignoring security options, being unbounceable, undeletable, being GP reduce immune. There's so many things that this deck could do that made it very oppressive to deal with. However, as we know, it has been nerfed a little bit because of the ban list, limiting their memory reduction X antibody Greymon to 1. Makes it so that way they have to either play Deltamon, which doesn't synergize as well with the deck because the new BT12 Metal Greymon only is a Digivolution cost of 4, unless the Digimon has a Greymon in its name, in which cost it's a 3 cost to Digivolve. So you can get it down to a 2 with the Deltamon or a 3 with the other X antibody. Neither one as good as Digivolving for 1, unfortunately. Obviously. Other things to kind of take into consideration, I think Red Hybrid did not see as much success as I thought it would. People talked a lot about how Red Hybrid was really, really impactful in the meta, and I think it is. But even when it was, I think, in one of the most ideal metas it could have been, against decks that it will be able to kind of like beat over consistently, it didn't see as much play or as much success in first place as I thought it would have. And so as we move into a format that may not see as many Black War or War Greymons, Red Hybrid may end up taking a bit of a backseat unless you want to go for Mario's like Ancient Greymon Red Hybrid support. I don't believe I documented those separately. I saw about 2 or 3 of these were running Ancient Greymon. The rest were running just the pure BT12 like top end. Maybe like one of the Emperor Greymons from the Blitz one. Okay, other decks that kind of really surprised me. I'm surprised Blue Flare did so well. In the beginning of the year, from what I saw, they received maybe like 1 top max. But towards the end of the BT12 format, EX4 format, they received a lot more tops. Whether that's because of the support they received at some point, maybe people just been playing them more, or maybe just the meta changed a little bit when EX4 came out. It's hard to say, but they did receive quite a hefty amount of tops. Bloom Quartz, another deck that I keep hearing about a lot, did not see nearly as much play. They are a board-centric deck, so Black War being able to delete their cards, War Gray kind of being able to go into them as well. Same goes for like Red Hybrid. It's interesting to see where they're going to come out now. I think they definitely are winners from Black War and Red Hybrid maybe falling a bit out of meta, or at least not being as prevalent or as strong as they were. Other decks that I'm kind of surprised to see did so well, Omnimon Alter, All Force, which I hear kind of just like dies in BT12. So when EX4 comes out, uh, I think they get some amount of support. I don't remember if that's where the X antibody All Force comes out or if it's BT12, but um, the Gallantmon, and then finally Crossheart really does take some L's. Even after getting Superior Mode, they really just do not top that much. Or, okay, clarify, they don't get first place as much. Again, I don't know how much top 16 is really splayed out. This is just a first place pie chart for the entire format, which I'm using in lieu of a good pie chart to kind of get information from. Other decks that I thought would be doing really well, Shine Greymon does not top nearly as much throughout the entire lifespan of BT12. It does not receive much success. That will change come BT like 13, I believe, where it gets the burst mode for Shine Greymon. Grandest Quartzmon, so a significant amount of play considering I just assumed Grandis would fall out of favor, but being able to play Quartzmon as another piece of top end seems really nice. Ophanimon with a Mostamon, like the Mostamon BT11 package thrown into it as like a splash to kind of get to the Ophanimon. Saw more play than just like pure Mostamon. And the reason I separated these two in particular is because there's a difference in the style of decks, where Ophanimon is the boss monster, whereas Mostamon / Ordinemon are the boss monster here. Ruin Bielstar saw a couple play, as well as Setcon Armor Rush. And everything else saw what I expect of like some like, you know, rogue deck tops, like Green Hybrid. You know, obviously it's not that great of a deck, but you know, it can see some success. Same goes for like Aegismon. Unfortunately, my pet deck Melga does no longer see the light past this point for at least a little bit until maybe the meta changes. I think that there's an argument that it's a little bit better now that War Gray and Black War Gray are hit. It has some decent matchups against, say, like Red Hybrid. But Hunters and Beelzemon, two decks that were untouched, I think it does have a harder matchup against. Speaking of these two decks, Beelzemon, I think, is the absolute winner here in this matchup. I've done a little bit of testing. I think this matchup is closer than I assumed it would be. I think it just depends on the variation of Beelzebub that you're running. In the OCG, I saw a lot of lists that really favored the low to the ground deletion aspect of playing the Immon on top of the Pagumon, and then just trying to get like your deletions to that way. But I've been talking to some people that really favor the evolution route listings of like going into focusing on getting those stacks high. So they're playing the structure deck egg that whenever you have I think it's Demon Lord or Wizard in your traits, when you swing, you can trash 2 cards. I think Blue Flare will see some success as well. I just don't know where it falls now. I think it had a okay matchup against Red Hybrid. I think it has an okay matchup against Beelzemon and Hunters. I think it's just like an average deck all around. And I think Bloomclorts will see success. I don't know if this necessarily helped me decide which deck I'm going to play. I'm still kind of waffling between Hunters. It's a deck I'm really enjoying playing a lot right now. It's a really fun combo deck with an insane amount of draw and a really, really unique set of removal that kind of just beats on most decks. As well as it can move really quickly and as the fun, like, very top end of Quartzmon if we really need to go into it. And then Beelzemon being what I think most people assume will be the best deck of the format, with War Gray and Black War kind of falling a bit to the wayside. There's also an argument for Bloom Quartz here. Decks that I think I would stay away from are Machine Dramon. I think Machine Dramon unfortunately gets really hit by the fact that War Gray and Black War are no longer going to be gatekeeping hunters as much. We're going to be seeing a lot more hunters, and Machine Dramon has no way to deal with that. Looking at just like the top, we'll do 17s because this is where the last 4 wins is. We've got Gamamon, which is an interesting deck, but I think it's kind of it's not really as powerful as it needs to be to really compete in the format. Shine Greymon, you could make the argument that Shine Greymon would be good now, because Hunters has a lot of low DP creatures, so does Beelzemon. Red Hybrid won't be played as much, so they won't have as strong of a lineup. Bloom Quartz goes very wide. Hunters typically can go wide. Beelzemon tends to kind of go like tall, but they need their smaller pieces to really get up there. So I can see Shine Greymon coming out and winning a couple more and having a better spot in the meta than they did in the OCG area. Grandis Quartz, I think, gets hit, unfortunately. I think Grandis just won't see the same kind of success that it will. It seems like it filled a spot similar to Red Hybrid of trying to take down the best deck, and it succeeded in doing so on occasion. Crossheart may see some more success. The hardest matchup for it is gone, and now it's just Beelzemon and Hunters that really I think it would need to deal with, and I think it has an okay matchup against both of those. So I would keep an eye out on Crossheart. Gallantmon, I think the support is nice. I just don't know if it's actually going to make a splash, but maybe. Gaio Beats gets hit. Same reason the Black War and War Gray gets hit. Nightmon. So Gray Nightmon comes out. When does it come? EX4. So in EX4, there was I think one Nightmon prior to EX4, and then the Gray Nightmon stuff came out, and that's really when the deck started kind of popping off. So I wouldn't really consider it a potential deck until EX4. All fours. The only thing they were playing that you can't play right now is the Golden Digimon, the armor one. So I think that's also EX4. But maybe. Omnimon Alter, also just not a deck you can play at the start of BT12, unfortunately. Machine Dramon, I would stay away from it, personally, but I mean, if you feel brave and you don't think Hunters are going to be a problem for you, then who knows? If you don't play Analog, man, then yeah, sure, but it is your best card, unfortunately. Bloom Quartz, big winner. I think, in my opinion, it doesn't have to deal with these two decks in particular, and I think it has an easier time against specifically Hunters and Beelzemon. Blue Flare, I think it saw more success through the EX4 format, but you could make the argument that it's okay even as is, and you could try playing it. Red Hybrid, I think will lose a lot of spots in the meta. I think we're gonna see it drop down probably towards like 10th or 11th place, honestly. Just because it is a deck that I think fit really nicely to what this meta was, and now with this meta kind of changing drastically, I think it will see less success. Black War, I'll do that whenever I get to War Gray. Hunters, I think these guys are also it's weird because I think Hunters is more of like a reactionary deck, where they have a clear set combo and they remove stuff in a very specific kind of way. And I think as long as there is a deck that is weak to this specific kind of removal, I think it will have a spot in the meta. Such as, if Crossheart is good, I don't think Hunters will be as good. But since Beelzemon is weak to this removal, putting a stack or two of their Digimon underneath their tamers, making it so their trash doesn't grow, is really, really impactful. There were a couple games in testing where I just needed like 1 or 2 more cards in trash for the OTK, and Hunters had put like 5 to 8 of my Digimon underneath my Eye and Mako. I think Beelzemon is a big winner here. I think without having to deal with the War Gray and the Black War Gray, I think it's going to see a lot of success. I think this is probably going to be, if I had to guess which deck was going to be the best deck of the format, I would guess Beelzemon. And then War Gray and Black War Gray, they have received the hit. I think they're going to fall to a comfortable tier 1. I think they're going to still be one of the best decks in the format. I just don't think they will be the king as they showed they were during BT12. But if you have any disagreements on anything that I'm showing you here, or my opinions, leave a comment down below. And thank you so much for watching.